Right, hello family and friends, welcome back. Welcome back. So, it's been an eventful few days, hasn't it? But who cares? I really don't care anymore. I'm done. So done, so done. My beard's coming through. It's only taken 25 years, but it's coming. Uh, right, so I think we're nicely set up for Jeremiah now. Nicely set up for Jeremiah. See, for Jeremiah, this is it's the one for me. It is the one. This is the one which really opened up my eyes, made me decide to really walk. Like, to walk, it has to be done. Have to do this. Come back to the old ways. Walk in the paths of our fathers. Why? Because this is the one where it really shows us where we went wrong, how we went wrong. We didn't want to admit how wicked our kingdom was and how far we had strayed. Just didn't want to admit it. And that kind of also makes me think about the times which have been erased from history. You know, the forgotten times. From 700 BC to all the way to the 15th century. And also from 70 AD when we lost our home up until we were fully scattered into the neighboring lands and beyond. It just makes me think, like, what were we really like? What were we like? Were we like super arrogant, like stuck up? You know, oh, we're the children of God, blah blah blah. What were we really like? But you know, these times are erased from history. I'm sure it's written down somewhere. Because we had a chance to do the job. We did the job, but somehow we strayed. Because from reading some of these books and finding out about what's written in the archives, you can kind of put two and two together. Like in them days before, pre-15th century, people knew that the book was about us. But who were we? We learned so much from each other. You know, you're reading about the ancient times and it says that even the worshipping of other gods, we taught that to other nations. And even our wickedness exceeded the wickedness of other nations. And it's like, it goes round and round and round in circles. They learn it from us. We learn from them. They learn it from us. We learn it from them. And it really does. It just goes all the way back to the beginning of it all. Abraham leaving everything behind and starting again. Tower of Babel. The 12 sons of Jacob suffering for their sin, what they've done to their brother, and then having to humble themselves and go begging to Egypt, only to find that their brother is the one who could cast judgment on them. But he ended up being their savior. And then their brother dies and other pharaohs rose. You see, I could go on to another thing, but I have to get started in this Jeremiah because of the time of year. I'm going through Exodus again. Like I said, every year you have to go through these things. Exodus, Deuteronomy, Numbers, Leviticus. So reading Exodus, I'm seeing the similarities between Exodus and the book of Revelation. And I wanted to do a whole video on it, but I'll just give one example. So it says, when the Most High sends Moses and Aaron to warn about the plagues of the locusts, and it says to the Most High says to the locusts, basically it's a huge cloud, a swarm of locusts, the same as in Revelations 9. It says they come out of the ground in Revelations 9, but in the book of Exodus it's the east wind that sends them. Just a huge swarm, like a cloud. And he says, go and eat up the crops and the trees and everything. And that's exactly what happened. But in the book of Revelation, Revelation 9, it says, do not eat up the trees and the crops and the plants. Go for the people. Go for the people. And I'm just noticing these similarities. Turn the rivers to blood. But, you know, all the time I'm always finding new things, new videos to bring out. But let's get started on Jeremiah. We didn't want to admit it. We didn't want to admit it. People just, and we ignored it. We totally ignored it. And we let it get so bad. The words of Jeremiah, son of Hilkiah, of the priests, who were in Anathoth, in the land of Benjamin, 2 or 3 miles north of Jerusalem, to whom the word of the Father came in the days of Josiah, the king, son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, until the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, son of Josiah, king of Judah, until the carrying away of Jerusalem into captivity in the 5th month. Then the word of the Father came to Jeremiah, saying, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and approved you as my chosen instrument. And before you were born, I separated and set you apart, consecrating you. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Then I said, ah, Father, behold, I cannot speak, for I am only a youth. But the Father said to me, say not, I am only a youth, for you shall go to all whom I shall send you, and whatever I command you, you shall speak. Be not afraid of them, their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says the Father. Then the Father put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Father said to me, behold, I have put my words in your mouth. See, I have this day appointed you to oversight of the nations and of the kingdoms, to root out and pull down, to destroy and to overthrow, to build and to plant. Moreover, the word of the Father came to me, saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a branch or shoot of an almond tree, an emblem of alertness and activity blossoming in late winter. Then said the Father to me, you have seen well, for I am alert and active, watching over my word to perform it. And the word of the Father came to me the second time, saying, What do you see? And I said, I see a boiling pot, and the face of it is tipped away from the north, its mouth about to pour forth on the south of Judea. Then the Father said to me out of the north, the evil which the prophets had foretold as the result of national sin shall disclose itself and break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For behold, I will call all the tribes of the kingdoms of the north, said the Father, and they will come and set every one his throne at the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem, against all its walls round about, against all the cities of Judah. As God's judicial act, a consequence of Judah's wickedness. And I will utter my judgments against them for all the wickedness of those who have forsaken me, burn incense to other gods, and worship the works of their own hands. But you, Jeremiah, gird up your loins, arise and tell them all that I commanded you. Do not be dismayed and break down at the sight of their faces, lest I confound you before them and permit you to be overcome. For behold, I have made you this day a fortified city and an iron pillar and bronze walls against the whole land, against the successive kings of Judah, against its princes, against its priests, and against the people of the land, giving you divine strength which no hostile power can overcome. And they shall fight against you, but they shall not finally prevail against you, for I am with you, says the Father, to deliver you. So don't be afraid of people's stature. Oh yeah, he's a great politician, he's a great king, he's a governor, he's a judge. Call them out. Call them out. Tell them about themselves. Back to the original notepad. See, there's just so much in here, like it's just crikey. Oh man, there's so much I'm gonna have to read from this, but it's so in depth, but it's so in depth. So don't be afraid, call them out, stand up to these people, tell them. Tell them. Because usually back in these days you couldn't speak. You couldn't speak against these people, but had to be told. And of course, this was our own kingdom. They've known about people from the past who spoke Yah's word. So obviously now there's some people who are like, hold on, we got to pay attention here. Because these people who know book, they're interested. They're living the way. They pay attention. But you know, other people, they're just so blasé about it. They've forgotten about everything. They've forgotten how they were brought up out of Egypt with a mighty hand. They've forgotten how prophecies come to pass many times. People don't care anymore. People are running away with other things. People are seeking to live like other nations. People are burning incense to other gods. And the word of the Father came to me, Jeremiah, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Father Yah, I earnestly remember the kindness and devotion of your youth, your love after your betrothal in Egypt and marriage at Sinai, when you followed me in the wilderness, in a land not sown. Israel's holiness, something set apart from ordinances, from ordinary purposes, dedicated to the Father, the first fruits of his harvest, of which no stranger was allowed to partake. All who ate of it offended and became guilty. Evil came upon them. Of which no stranger was allowed to partake. All who ate of it, injuring Israel, offended and became guilty. Evil came upon them. You see, when we were in our own kingdom and we were worshipping our Lord and we were doing what we were supposed to do, that was when he would step in for us. We are who we are. We ain't doing it now. That's why he's never stepped in for us. And we, us who are readers of this, us who are of the blood, this is what we're doing. We are coming back because there's no power in our hands. We need him to step in for us. This place is falling apart. And we have no power to deliver ourselves. We need him to step in. I'll tell you, this ain't gonna be easy, guys. I'm telling you, this ain't gonna be easy because a lot of us, we don't like this. We don't like to look at ourselves. And as I read this, like, you know, just take a look at your own kingdom. Take a look at how we live in the West. It's exactly the same. You were supposed to learn from this. That's always been a part of the secret plan. Make sure these guys never find out who they are so they can't come back. We don't want to live like this. We're living like kings. This is our heaven. And we would do anything to hold on to it. Anything. If these people wake up and they come back, it's all over. But do not be fearful. You cannot be fearful. Hear the word of the Father, house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Yasharel. Thus says the Father, what unrighteousness did your fathers find in me, that they went far from me, and habitually went after emptiness, falseness, futility, and themselves became fruitless and worthless. Most High saying, what did I do? What did I do? Did I fail you? Did I let you down? Nor did they say, where is the Father? Who brought us up out of the land of Egypt? Who led us through the wilderness? Through a land of deserts and pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death and deep darkness, through a land that no man passes through, where no man dwells. And I brought you into a plentiful land to enjoy its fruits and good things. But when you entered, you defiled my land and made my heritage an abomination, detestable and loathsome. Even the priests did not say, where is the Father? And those who handled the law given by Yah and Moses knew me not. The rulers and secular shepherds also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by the authority and in the name of Baal, and followed after things that do not profit. Therefore I will still contend with you by inflicting further judgments on you, says the Father, and with your children's children will I contend. It all makes sense. We live in this. We're living it. For cross over to the coast of Cyprus, to the west, and see. Send also to Kedar, to the east, and carefully consider and see whether there has been such a thing as this. Has a nation ever changed its gods, even though they are no gods? My people have changed their God, their glory, for that which does not profit. Be astonished and appalled. You see, that's always been the confusion with us. That's why a lot of us rejected Christianity. We didn't want to know. We didn't believe the Bible because we were worshipping another God which did not profit us. We never understood how we can go through all this, and our grandparents and our parents are going to church, they're praying, they're tithing, and still nothing changed. Nothing changed. We still suffering out here, and other people being blessed around us. It's all here. It explains it. We're learning. We know now. Has a nation ever changed its gods, though they are not gods? But my people have changed their glory and their God for that which does not profit. Be astonished and appalled, O heavens, at this. Be shocked and shrivel up with horror, says the Father, at the behavior of the people. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and they have hewn for themselves cisterns, broken cisterns, which cannot hold water. Is Yasharel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why has he become a captive and a prey? The young lions have roared over him and made their voices heard, and they have made his land a waste. His cities are burnt, ruins without inhabitant. They have made his land a waste. His cities are ruins and burnt without inhabitant. Did not Yeshua tell us that not one stone would be on top of another? We've had kingdoms go in and out, in and out, in and out, destroying and tearing down, century after century after century after century after century, constantly coming, tearing down, taking away. It's all there in the history books, recent history as well. But then we're made to live here and hear the comments of people. Oh, you guys, you haven't got nothing. Oh, you don't do nothing. You haven't got this. You haven't got that. I even heard a stupid comment as, oh, you didn't even have a wheel when the colonizers came. And it's just like, you know, it's all part of the plan. Make sure we don't believe. And make sure you guys don't believe either. Make sure no one believes. Just constantly hide the truth. Destroy everything. That's why people are so scared about history being rewritten and being replaced. Because they know it's been done before. They know it's been done. They know how easy it's been done. That's why they're so scared now. Because they know it's been done. And change the face of what it looks to be Australian, Canadian, American, and many other. But I won't go there because that's just going to upset a lot of people. Because people don't want to admit like they weren't the original people there. Like I say, kill the men, rape the women, create a whole new race. I don't want to name names because it just upsets people. But deep down inside, they know. They know. The truth hurts for all of us. We are all in trouble. All of us. But we have to humble ourselves in the truth. Be astonished and appalled, O heavens, at this. Be shocked and shrivel up with horror, says the Father, at the behavior of my people. For my people have committed two evils. Foundation of living waters, and they have hewn for themselves cisterns, broken cisterns, which cannot hold water. Is Yasharel a servant, a homeborn slave? Why has he become captive and a prey? The young lions have roared over him and made their voices heard. They have made his land a waste and his cities burnt ruins without inhabitant. Moreover, the children of Memphis and Tahpanhes, Egypt, have in times past shown their power as a foe. They have broken and fed on the crown of your head. So do not rely on them as an ally now. They have not brought this upon you. Have you not brought this upon yourself by forsaking the Father when he led you in the way? And now what have you to gain by allying yourself with Egypt and by going her way to drink the waters of the Nile? Or what have you to gain in going the way of the Assyrians to drink the waters of the Euphrates? Your own wickedness shall chasten and correct you, and your backslidings and desertion of faith shall reprove you. Know therefore and recognize that this is an evil and a bitter thing. First, you have forsaken your Elohim. Second, you are indifferent to me, and the fear of me is not in you, says Yahuwah. For long ago in Egypt I broke your yoke and burst your bonds, not that you might be free, but that you might serve me. And long ago you shattered the yoke and snapped the bonds of my law which I put upon you. You said, I will not serve and obey you. For upon every high hill and under every green tree, you eagerly prostrated yourself in idolatrous worship, playing the harlot. Yet I had planted you, O house of Yasharel, a right seed, choice vine, holy, pure seed. How then have you turned to degenerate shoots of wild vine, alien to me? For though you wash yourself with lye and use soap, yet your iniquity and guilt are still upon you. You are spotted, dirty, and stained before me, says the Father. I'm sure you've heard it many times. I've said it. Read the first chapters of Jeremiah, where we're getting cussed out because we broke his heart. How can you now say, I am not defiled? I have not gone after the Baals, other gods. Look at your way in the valley. Know what you have done. You are a restive young female camel. This is harsh, but the word of God is true. And when you really upset someone, when you betray someone, when you hurt someone, don't they cuss you out? Don't they know really where to hit you by the truth? You are a restive young female camel in uncontrollable violence of her brute passion, eagerly running hither and thither. Or you have an untamed and reckless nature of a wild donkey used to the desert, in her heat sniffing the wind for the scent of a male. In her mating season, who can restrain her? No males seeking her need weary themselves. In her month, they will find her seeking them. That's the deepest. So anyone with any kind of doctrine, any kind of wild madness about gods and stuff, will go run into it. They don't even need to convince us. They don't even need to come find us. We run into them. We run in to look for everything but this. Any excuse to explain our history, our plight, our condition. Anything but this. You run to this. Any excuse to find our way out of this, even for the whole world. Now, we'll run in to find any other excuse. Yeah, we know we live in a wicked kingdom. The whole head is sick in the West. The whole head is sick. But we need to do our part too. We need to do our part. This is how we get saved. This is what this book is asking us. It's asking us to step away. We need to do our part. Because they're set for destruction. He wants them. But if you want to make excuses for them, if you think their way of life and their ideologies and their science and everything, if you think that's a better way, you make your choice. Because at the end of the day, the Most High gives you free will, and then you will be judged at the end. But what's coming is they're looking to take away your free will, and they're looking to end you if you won't conform. It's all part of the depopulation process. Because they think they're an evolved species now. They think they're a higher form of human. It's not really about race anymore. They think they're a higher form of human. If they've gotten to, over 100 million, they think that they're an evolved sect within the human race, and they deserve to inherit the earth. The Most High wants them badly. And they're looking to drag you to hell with them. They know where they're going, which is why they will fight tooth and nail. Which is why they need to control all the top organizations. Gaslight and brainwash the hell out of you, so you don't understand what the hell is going on. They don't want you inheriting the second life. They don't want you inheriting the earth. They think they can win, and if they're not going to win, they're going to drag you down with them. They don't want you to have a fresh start. And every time you speak this word, every time you walk this walk, every time you change your life, you change your mindset, and you give in, you submit, they can't control you anymore, and you're a threat. And it makes them know that this is real. And it scares the living daylights out of them. Because they thought we were done and dusted. They did. They really did. They thought we were done and dusted. Which is why they have to control the narrative in this, what's the word? Revival. They have to control the revival. Because the true revival is happening. So it's like, and come to this side. We're having a revival as well when it's totally fake. Make you feel good about it. Oh, I'm part of this revival. No, you're not. Straight is the gate. Narrow is the way. Sorry, I've gone off in a rant. Okay, where was I? Yeah, just totally cussed out. Cease from your mad running after idols, from which you get nothing but bitter injury. Round and round in circles. Round and round in circles. And we'll always end up weeping, crying out. Just a next thing and the next thing is the next thing. Just as you think you've exited the matrix, you've fallen into another program. Just another thing, one thing after another is another device to ruin the poor. It's yet another one. And like I said, the perfect excuse is just like the pandemic was the perfect excuse. Here we are at defense spending. Oh, this, that, and blah, blah, blah. We must protect ourselves. That's just another excuse not to do the things which they said they were going to do. And to keep the people who can really stop this and really, really stop this, to keep them on their side. Oh, the economy, the economy, the economy. The love of money. Cease from your running after idols, from which you get nothing but bitter injury. Keep your feet from being unshod and your throat from thirst. But you said, it is hopeless, for I have loved strangers and foreigners, and after them I will go. As the thief is brought to shame when he is caught, so shall the house of Yasharel be brought to shame. They, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets. Inasmuch as they say to a tree, you are my father, and to a stone, you gave me birth. For they have turned their backs to me, and not their faces. But in the time of their trouble, they say, arise, Father, and save us. That's coming. That's coming. When it gets really real, everyone's going to be screaming out. When the bombs are falling, when the stormtroopers are in the streets, when you're being snatched out of your house, when your kids are being arrested, and your kids are being just like disappeared for protesting for their future. Look at Ukraine, they're getting taken off the streets, dragging fathers off the streets, dragging young men off the streets to go to a war they never asked for. And then you got a sect of people who ran to the UK, ran to Europe, and then they're there trying to cheer on, oh, help us, support us, give us more weapons, give us more money. These people ain't going home. They're not going home. What they got to go home to? Plus, the longer they stay here, the more their children feel that they're English. We know. They feel that they're English. They feel that this is their home. And now Ukraine is forever beholden to Britain and America. What's there to go home to? Oh, but Putin started the war. Putin started the war. Come on, man. Come on. Fights don't start with the first punch. It's the reason why he threw the punch. You won't go back and say, oh, but they were punching and beating up my little brothers and sisters. You want to start the story from the first punch of retaliation. Just like I read in Brutes, like, I'm sure you remember the line. Our bishops scream to high heaven when the Armenians are violated by the Turks, but say nothing about the much worse crimes committed by their own countrymen. The hypocritical British heart beats for all except those their own empire drowns in blood. But where are your gods that you made for yourselves? Let them arise if they can save you in the number of your cities are your gods. But where are your gods that you made for yourself? Let them arise if they can save you in the time of your trouble. I've said before, when this thing really kicks off and it really gets bad, people are going to go tribal. And then all us from other nations who live here in the West, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. And that's what has to happen to wake you guys up. Cease from running after your idols, from which you get nothing but bitter injury. But where are your gods that made you, you made for yourself? Let them arise if they can save you in the time of your trouble. For as many as the number of your cities are your gods, O Judah. Surely so many handmade idols should be able to help you. Now I'm sure there's people saying, oh, the book is timeless. Yes, it's talking about carved images. But in this day and age, it's the technology, it's the weapons, it's the science, it's the safety of Egypt, the many chariots and horses, you know, like we read back then in Isaiah. Woe unto those who go down to Egypt for peace and safety. Everyone thinks the war's going to be over there. It's going to be elsewhere. Excuse me, why do you complain and remonstrate against my wrath? You all have rebelled and revolted against me, says the Father. In vain have I stricken your children, your people. They received no discipline, no correction. Your own sword devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. O generation that you are, behold, consider and regard the word of the Father. Have I been a wilderness to Israel, like the hand without food? A land of deep darkness, like a way without light? Why do my people say, we have broken loose, we are free, and we will roam at large? We will come no more to you. shackles, you know. Can a maid forget and neglect to wear her ornaments, or a bride her marriage girdle with its significance like that of a wedding ring? Yet my people have forgotten me, days without number. How you deck yourself and direct your way to procure adulterous love, because of it even wicked women have learned indecent ways from you. Also your skirts is found the lifeblood of the persons of the innocent poor. You did not find them housebreaking, nor have I found it out by secret search, but it is because of your lust for idolatry that you have done all these things. That is everywhere evident. Yet you will keep saying, I am innocent. Surely his anger has turned away from me. Behold, I will bring you to judgment, and I will plead against you because you say, I have not sinned. Why do you gad or wonder about so much to change your way? You should be put to shame by Egypt as you were put to shame by Assyria. From Egypt also you will come away with your hands upon your head. For the Father has rejected those in whom you confide, and you will not prosper with respect to them. You see it, you know it. You see your own kingdom here. Also on all your skirts is found the lifeblood of the persons of the poor, of the innocent poor. You did not find them housebreaking, nor have I found it out by secret search, but it is because of your lust for idolatry that you have done all these things. That is everywhere evident. You keep saying, I am innocent. Surely his anger has turned away from me. So you haven't been judged yet, you haven't been punished. So you keep thinking, I can get away with it. I've done this thing, I've done that thing. Where was God? Where is your God? There is no God. I've done all these wicked things, nothing's happened to me. I'll keep going, keep going, keep going. The God of Israel doesn't see. The God of Israel doesn't hear. Let's cut that short. Let's cut that. Leave it there. But as we go on, it's just going to be so uncomfortable. I'm telling you, this book is so deep. And it was humbling. It is a humbling. And you need to listen and pay attention just to see how much this book is timeless and how we never learn a thing.